This was the Detroit Lions 2021 starting defense. And look at that secondary. Jerry Jacobs, Charles Harris, Amani Oruwariye, Tracy Walker, and Will Harris. This defense ranked 23rd in passing yards allowed per game. Now here's the 2022 defensive starting lineup for the Lions. Jeff Okudah, Jerry Jacobs again, bringing in Kerby Joseph and Deshaun Elliott. This crew ranked 30th in passing yards allowed per game. Then we go to last season. Cameron Sutton, CB1, Jerry Jacobs once again, Tracy Walker was playing, Kerby Joseph was the starter, and there was depth pieces such as CJ Gardner-Johnson, who was injured most of the season, Ifeatu Melifonw, Kendall Vildor, Manuel Mosley, who was hurt, Chase Lucas, Will Harris once again. This defense ranked 31st in passing yards allowed per game. Point is, the Lions secondary has sucked for a while now, and it really sucks. Some notable meltdowns. 2022, week 4 against Seattle, giving up 375 yards of passing. Against the Dolphins, week 8, giving up 311 yards of passing. Against the Panthers, week 16, 336 yards of passing. There's a ton more in there as well, especially in 2022. And from last season, giving up 316 passing yards week 2 to Seattle. And then giving up 324 yards Thanksgiving, week 12 against the Packers. But Packers, one thing I do want to say about all this is that it's not Aaron Glenn's fault. A lot of people like to put him to blame for the bad defense or the bad secondary. It has been a talent issue, not a defensive coordinator issue. Who was CB1 last year? Cameron Sutton. Our other cornerbacks, Will Harris, Vildor, I mean, what is he supposed to do with those guys? And CJ Gardner-Johnson wasn't just hurt most of the season, but he also sucked. And it's also unlucky that Emmanuel Mosley never really got to play. Now, though, the Lions secondary has been saved. Brad Holmes cooked, got some amazing talent during the draft, some amazing talent during free agency. And I believe the Lions have one of the best secondaries in the NFL. Now, I know it's still early. We haven't even seen some of these players play yet. But just with this talent, the vibes that I've been getting, safety is going to be Kerby Joseph, Ifeatu Melifonw, and Brian Branch at times. And then the CB1, Carlton Davis III, absolute stud. And then on the other side, the CB2 is going to be Emmanuel Mosley, Amik Robertson, Ennis Rakestraw, probably Terrion Arnold or Brian Branch at times. Loaded depth. And additionally, the Lions now have Davenport and DJ Reader up on the line, getting it some more pressure on the quarterback, leaving less time for the quarterback to make throws. It all just comes together. No one's going to be passing all over Detroit anymore. First up, Terrion Arnold. Traded up in the draft to pick him 24th overall. Second DB taken in the draft. A lot of people had Terrion Arnold as CB number 1 in the draft class. Coming from Alabama. We know how Alabama players play in the NFL. The Lions keep going to him. Arnold has incredible energy, incredible motivation and determination. He said he wanted to be in the NFL. There's a video of him when he was like 8 years old. He said he wants to win a Super Bowl. That's his goal this season. He wants to learn. He feels like the Lions were just missing one piece, and he feels like that he's that piece. He wants to get a pick 6 at home and then put on some buffs. That's his first goal of the season. So he demonstrates that he has the Lions grit. He's won with the culture. He says he's going to get way better going up against great wide receivers in practice like St. Brown, Jameson Williams. He's going to be with his old teammate, Brian Branch. His footwork's really good. Great defense. Really good tackler. Played safety. I mean, this guy is NFL ready. He's going to come out there and play. Going to be CB2. Carlton Davis will start out CB1, but we're going to see a lot of Terrion Arnold. And the Lions really were missing just a lockdown CB1, and now just starting off with Terrion Arnold, we have him, and there's so much more that I haven't even covered yet. And the last thing about Arnold, he said, if my mom was a receiver, I'd jam her into the dirt, and she knows that. Damn. The next player I want to talk about is Carlton Davis III. He's going to be the Lions CB1, and he's going to be lockdown. Also, wants to win a Super Bowl. Same as Terrion Arnold. Has that motivation, that dedication. He's not as animated as Terrion Arnold, and maybe that's his age. He was on the Bucs for 6 seasons. He's led the league, passes deflected twice, has a ton of playoff experience, winning the Super Bowl. That's what the Lions need, was a part of that insane, incredible Tampa Bay defense that carried Brady to his ring. I'm kidding. But for real, Carlton Davis III, I'm so excited to have him on our team. He's so good. He says that half the field is going to be locked down by me. Whatever team's number one wide receiver you put me up against, he's going to be cut off. I'm going to deny him the ball. This is what the Lions need. They need someone physical. They need someone who has a ton of playoff experience. This is the vet that Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, Ennis Rakestraw, this is the guy that they're all going to learn from. This is the guy that's going to be the example on the Lions defense. He's going to be a stud. There's a chance for CJ Gardner-Johnson to be that guy last year, be the vet, be the example, be the lockdown DB. Yeah, he failed. Carlton Davis seems very mature, humble, great guy. He's going to be our lockdown CB1. Then there's the amazing Kerby Joseph, free safety, 4 picks in each of his first 2 seasons, going to be entering year 3. Incredible energy from this man always. 8 total interceptions so far in his career, alongside 20 pass deflections and 2 forced fumbles. Aaron Rodgers, his father. How can you not love this man? Incredibly athletic, great football IQ. Can't wait to see him enter year 3. Kerby Joseph is a playmaker. And then there's Brian Branch. Whether you think the green mouthpiece dangling off the top of the helmet is funny or annoying and looks bad, either way, you gotta love the man. One of 2 rookies to pick off Patrick Mahomes last season. Thank you, Kadarius Toney. He brought it back to the house. GMs and teams should not have let him drop in the draft last season. The Lions got him early in the 2nd round. This man is a football player, a competitor. He hits extremely hard. This man, Brian Branch, hits like he has no regard for his own life. Last season, Branch recorded 3 picks, a forced fumble, 13 pass deflections, and 1 sack. Was in the conversation for Defensive Rookie of the Year. This man is just a baller. Hits so hard, tackles so well. It's crazy this is a personal foul flag on Branch here. You're definitely going to see more of this next season, the way this man plays the game. And if you look at this statistic here, Brian Branch ranked 1st in impact play percentage from all of 2023's defensive backs, and by a good margin there from 2nd place. The next player I want to talk about is Ifeatu Melifonw, who had a breakout season last year. He's going to be entering his 4th year in the NFL. Had the NFC North clinching interception against the Vikings. Melifonw is kind of underrated, and he's a playmaker. Last season, Melifonw had 2 interceptions, 8 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and 3 sacks. With the secondary struggling to hold receivers down and the front line struggling to get pressure on the quarterback, Glenn started running up a lot of blitz packages, and a lot of them included Brian Branch and Ifeatu Melifonw. And just look at these plays here. Melifonw's speed and playmaking ability is unbelievable. The gap he closes to get to the quarterback and take him down, this allows for so many different play types for Aaron Glenn and the defense. Great time for him to break out last season when the Lions need DBs, safeties. Melifonw, like Kerby, he's a playmaker and he's special. And then there's Amik Robertson, who's a younger talent, has been in the league for 4 years now, but only has been a starter over the last 2. The Lions picked him up from the Raiders during free agency. He's a little bit smaller, but he's fast, hungry, very versatile, can play any position, and he's going to be out there competing for the cornerback role alongside Emmanuel Moseley. Now, Emmanuel Moseley barely played last season as he tore his other ACL, but hopefully we might see him on the field this season. Brad Holmes put it simply, we were signing him for another year because we've seen Emmanuel Moseley play cornerback at the highest level when he was in San Francisco, and players like Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw, who we'll be getting to next, have to prove themselves. Overall, I think it's just more depth and more competition at practice, which always leads to better players. I do hope Emmanuel Moseley heals well and can play for the Lions. It'll be interesting to see how well he'll be able to play. He's torn both his ACLs over the last 2 years. I feel like he's more for depth and won't be a starter and play a big role, but we'll see. Overall, though, I think Emmanuel Moseley is still a fine player to have on the team. And then there's Ennis Rakestraw, probably the Lions' biggest steal of the draft. This man is also hungry. It's just competition in the cornerback DB room. You love to see it with Moseley, Amik Robertson, Terrion Arnold, Rakestraw. I think Carlton 100% is going to be the lockdown CV1 starter from day one. But all this and Brian Branch and all this competition is going to be extremely exciting. This DB room is stacked now, and it only took a few months. Now you look at the depth here in the lineup: Carlton Davis, Brian Branch, Kerby Joseph, Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, Ifeatu Melifonw, Ennis Rakestraw, also Emmanuel Mosley in there. That's unbelievable secondary. Unbelievable. And not only is the secondary better, the Lions defensive line, Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, with additions of DJ Reader and Marcus Davenport, the big boys. The quarterback is not going to have all day to throw anymore. There's going to be more pressure on the quarterback, and the wide receivers are going to be way more tightly covered. And Jack Campbell is going to be entering year 2, and Alex Anzalone played phenomenal last year. This defense is looking scary.